CTV Scott Hurst is following the storm for us. He joins us now with more. So, Scott, this storm is being fueled by the record warmth of the Gulf of Mexico. What are we expecting with this latest hurricane? Could be record-breaking in terms of 12-foot storm surge in the Tampa Bay area.
Marcia, 12-foot storm surge, of course, higher than most ceilings. So millions of people are in the path of this massive storm, as you mentioned, rapidly intensifying because of the record warm water of the Gulf as it makes its way to the Gulf Coast of Florida, really with Tampa Bay right in the middle of it. And it's expected to cut this path as we're looking at the path of the storm here right through the middle of the state. Some of the evacuation orders are already beginning today, Marcia, even though the storm isn't expected to make landfall, the eye of the storm make landfall sometime late Wednesday night, potentially early Thursday morning, and expected to remain a hurricane strength of some form as it moves across the state. And officials are preparing for widespread evacuation orders with this storm now making its path and really setting its sights on the middle of Florida, as you see the path right there. It's not just the wind and rain, however. Marcia, you mentioned the storm surge. That is one of the major concerns right now, projected 8 to 12 feet. And that is what is really concerning for officials right now, as we're seeing a lot of people that are close by, not in the direct impact, doing whatever they can to sandbag, but officials also telling a lot of people, and there'll be more evacuation orders as the days progress, to get out of the path of the storm, get away from the coastline. Right now, states of emergency have been declared in 51 counties in Florida. We're also learning just this morning the Tampa Bay Airport has announced it will suspend all operation Tuesday morning ahead of the storm and will not reopen, Marcia, until it can assess the damage that has been left behind.
Sounds scary and dangerous, potentially life-threatening, of course, and it comes right on the heels of Hurricane Helene. And we heard Governor DeSantis saying a lot of debris still on the ground. You've got those strong winds. That could create a hazard.
That's a unique hazard heading into this storm because we're less than 2 weeks since the last major hurricane that cut a real deadly path through many southern United States. Many of those states, like the Carolinas and Georgia, will be spared this time around, as this hurricane is expected to cut right through Florida. But the last hurricane, as I mentioned less than 2 weeks ago, left a significant amount of damage in Florida, knocked out a lot of power to people in Florida, really damaged a lot of homes and took down a lot of trees. So now there's this massive amount of debris in the area that is going to get hit by another storm. And those can turn into flying objects and really make this a lot more dangerous. So we heard from Florida Governor Ron DeSantis saying they have round-the-clock operations to clear debris ahead of this next storm. He's directed Florida crews dispatched to North Carolina to return in preparation of Hurricane Milton. The National Guard also on debris duty, up to 4,000 of them ready to be deployed across the state. Here is more from Governor Ron DeSantis of Florida.
Had a lot of debris left from Hurricane Helene on Florida's Gulf Coast. That creates a huge hazard if you have a major hurricane hit in that area this week. So we've marshaled state assets to be able to help with that mission, and we're going to continue to do that until it's safe, until it's no longer safe to do so.
So, Marcia, storm surge, a major concern right along the Gulf Coast. But as the governor also mentioned in that press conference that was held earlier this morning, it's expected to remain hurricane strength as it moves across the entire state and exit into the Atlantic.
Okay, Scott Hurst for us. Scott, thank you for that update.